people like Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion, they're the fire alarm, which has to be annoying and then got to wake you up. But in the end, you need the fire brigade to turn up and start to fix things, and that's who we are.
My view is in 20 or 30 years' time, people will be sitting down thinking, bloody hell, do you remember those Just Stop Oil idiots? Perhaps they were right. If I hadn't worn this, would you have stopped to have a chat?
We're here in Brighton to cover the Green Party conference. Today is all about formulating policies, and the co-leaders have been doing a series of media rounds. And yet, in the press, you're more likely to hear about the actions of Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion. They currently only have one MP. We're here to find out what is more effective in furthering the green agenda. Is it, firstly, climate action or party political politics?
Of course, the machinery at hand is terribly flawed, and it is horribly slow, and I really sympathise with people, and I feel it myself when you look at it and you say that. But I think turning our back on the parliamentary system would be such a big mistake. We've got to be here as well as being in all the other places where increasingly Greens are.
I've only just joined the Green Party. I thought my grandson would be pleased. He wasn't. Not terribly impressed.
Why was your grandson not pleased that you joined the Green Party?
Because he said that the Green Party are lying. What he meant by that was they're not shouting from the rooftops that disaster is round the corner.
And is he involved in direct action?
I'm afraid he is, yes. He was sitting on the what do you call them, above the motorway?
Gantries.
Gantries, and was arrested for that. He's been tried once and was given a horrible leg iron that he had to wear all the time and not allowed to come to London anymore. But that was for breaking into an oil depot, I think. I think he's very brave. He's given up a future in order to do this.
How so?
Well, given up university.
Would you be arrested? I don't know what the cause would be, but is there any circumstance?
You don't go out hoping to be arrested. I've taken direct action before. I've taken part in many, many protests, and I've supported people who've been arrested and then exonerated in the cause for doing precisely that. It's very, very important that we have that democratic right to take direct action when needed, but also that we work through the democratic process first, that we try as best as we can to get things done in a way that doesn't involve the police deciding to come and take action.
Ultimately, you can only do so much by trying to convince the people in power. Ultimately, if you want people with your values, you have to change the people in power so you know they're doing the right thing. And having 4 Greens in the room rather than just one, we've seen how much Caroline's been able to do over the past 13 years in Parliament. Having 4 times the impact with 4 times the number of MPs would be such a massive boost and help push all parties of all colours towards policies that really take the environment seriously and really take social justice seriously.
Do you think the average punter on the street could name your co-leaders? I'll go to you.
I don't know. But then the average punter in the street probably can't even name cabinet ministers, so...
That's true, absolutely. What do you think?
I would say no, because the Green Party gets virtually no coverage in the mainstream media. I know at election time it's all proportioned out as to how many MPs you've got, but it's absolutely pretty pitiful the amount of media coverage that the Green Party gets, given that we actually have policies and ideas, which is something that, well, the 2 major parties don't seem to have at the moment.
We know that we can do really well at a local level. As you know, we've just had some of our best ever local election results. We've now got more local councillors than ever before. And people are more and more getting used to voting Green, I think, and also, frankly, feeling more and more disillusioned with the main parties. I mean, I think there's a real sense that, yes, we need to get rid of the Conservatives, but frankly that Labour isn't providing a bold enough alternative. So it feels to me like there's a real space on the political agenda.
Socialism is about social and economic inequality. And I think that the Green Party are the only party with policies to address that. I don't think the Labour Party do that anymore. And therefore, if people want to address those issues, whilst also addressing the environmental and green issues, then that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Could you show us your T-shirt?
Yeah. It's a Just Stop Oil T-shirt. Bear in mind, I'm not speaking here for the Green Party. I only joined them about 2 months ago.
And how long have you been a member of Just Stop Oil?
About 3 months.
Okay.
Have you heard of the COP meetings? COP 1 was 1995. We are further backward now, and we're up to COP 28 or COP 29 now. Most change in this country, in my view, has come from the bottom up by social groups, activism, and by putting pressure on parliamentary groups. I don't think, Parliament at the minute is dead. We might just as well forget elections, save a lot of money, and let Labour and the Tories take it in turns.
Funnily enough, a journalist from a Conservative magazine is very keen to interview the Greens in Suffolk to explain to his readers why we were so successful. And he put it down to cosmopolitan Liberals leaving London to come to Suffolk, which in our experience is certainly not the case. We have a very broad range of people who vote for us, and we have a lot of traditional Tories who voted for us because they were sick of being taken for granted by the Conservative Party.
So I'm from Croydon. The south of Croydon is very white, middle class, conservative, and then the north is more people of colour, more poverty and that sort of stuff. And in the past, the Green Party used to focus on the places in the south because it's easier to win seats. But I've been forcing them to go into the north, speak to people of colour, and just tell people that our policies do affect them. So everyone thinks that all we care about is the environment and trees, but we care about social inequality, poverty, housing, all that sort of stuff that affects people of colour more than most white people.
So is there like a messaging issue going on there? Because if it sounds like you're talking to people and they don't know, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So the press only wants to speak to the Green Party when it's about the environment. They don't want to pay any attention to our social policies because it doesn't fit their stereotype that they want to put out to the public. So locally, it's my job to speak to people and tell them that's our policies, that's our issues, and please join us and you'll always be welcome.
And do you think the average person kind of walking on the street in Brighton today could name your co-leaders?
That's a very good question, and we do that on purpose. This is part of the Green philosophy, is that we don't try to invest all our leadership in one person. We're not a top-down party, very much unlike the Labour Party at the moment. We don't do that, showbiz, everyone behind the leader. We don't do that. We work as a democratic party. We do our politics the way we'd like wider politics to be, and that's with real democracy and lots of different people taking the lead.
4 MPs would be a start. Fixing our broken democracy would be really more important. So introducing proportional representation so that people aren't forced to make tactical decisions about how they vote, and actually their vote can matter. That's what we need to implement. Then we don't have to worry about how many Green MPs there are, because there will be enough. Is it important for the Green Party to help shift things back towards the centre, if not the left? Yes. And I think even just having Caroline has helped at least stop a complete pull all the way to the right. So maybe 4 or more of us will help, correct that.
Is the worry slightly that so many young people are like just out chaining themselves to bridges and stuff, that maybe there aren't as many as there should be in the Green Party, or do you feel like there might be some crossover?
I don't know if there is some crossover, but I mean, you can't. I wouldn't turn to a young person and be like, "Don't chain yourself to a bridge. Come and join the Green Party." Maybe we should be. Maybe it's a good. Maybe it's a good tool to get people to join. But no, I mean, I think people are going to do what they're going to do. It's about freedom of choice as well. We should be able to protest. We should be able to express our views, and the Green Party fully supports people being able to express their views. Especially in terms of protest, so it's important. All forms of it are important. They come to us later on, great.
We have been asking people today whether the best way to further the green agenda in the UK is via the parliamentary process or through direct action. Most people have answered saying that it is a mixture of both that is needed. The problem is we've also heard what a gradual process gaining just one MP has been. They're aiming for 4 at the next general election. The ultimate question is, in a climate emergency, do we have time? In 2050, where do you think the Green Party will be?
Well, hopefully we'll have been in the government for a very long time by then.